Welcome to Power Monday, where your Mondays will never be blue again. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Power Monday, where your Mondays will never be blue again. As always, my name is Taufik, and if you're new here, Power Monday is ERA's original podcast where we bring in the best of the best to share their real life journeys, the strategies that kept them through, and the best practices for success. So if you guys are looking for your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration, we're here for you on Mondays 10 a.m. and you also can catch us on One ERA Spotify as well as One ERA YouTube. Now in this edition of Power Monday, we're gonna have our guests of ERA management team, and for today's in the studio we have someone who is renowned for fostering impactful collaboration across departments, and for him collaboration isn't just about cross-functional work, it's about building a cohesive team culture that drives success. And with over 9 years of leadership in business development, he champions the philosophy that teamwork is the most powerful form of collaboration. And without further ado, please welcome to today's Power Monday, Deming.
Good morning. Hi.
Good morning. I know Deming wants Pakcik Rahman.
Yeah.
But he's too busy finding his second wife.
No, I think Pachi is my favorite persona of you, Taufik.
Thank you. I can try to ask, okay, Deming, with your, how old are you?
38 this year.
Okay. Tell me, you now 38 years old already, kan? Then you share a bit to Pakcik about your life journey, how you masuk ERA.
Okay, so like you mentioned, I came to ERA 9 years ago, and I started out actually, doing business development. So my previous role, I was with CPG Corporation, architecture and engineering consultancy firm lah. So I was doing business development there, actually traveling around the region to actually find more project opportunities for the company. And then when I saw that there was this opening in ERA for a BD role as well, then I applied, came in, and it was at that time, reporting directly to our ex-CEO, which is Jack lah. And then from there, I actually started out with ERA franchise development. And then after that with Coal Banker, which is now defunct already, not longer operational, the franchise for Coal Banker. Then from there, slowly started to do more and more. I understudied Yokeling for a while in events doing APBC.
Oh.
And that's how now APBC has become my baby.
Yeah.
And then from there, then it started to branch out to more things, which I think I have been pretty much very fortunate to be exposed and learning, all these different aspects of the real estate agency.
The one aspect of your work also is partnership. Like
Yes.
you make friends.
Yes.
I really think so it's not make friends. I mean you collaborate with other
Yup.
people, which also I'm tied into like helping with our external vendors. So maybe from your point of view, what are the benefits of external collaboration?
Actually, this came from my previous role when I was in my previous company. I felt that looking for direct partners sometimes is a direct relation, but sometimes you never know where other partners or other organizations or other contacts that you have could actually bring you also some sort of opportunities or even networking opportunities and stuff like that, which can grow the business in other ways.
Yeah.
So just for example, say for example like a recent tie-up with Kasori, right, a furniture store, right? So Right Mind, usually we deal with banks, law firms and things like that, and then one day we just just went out to look for more other sort of value adding services that can value add to not just our agents but the clients as well. And I guess this would be one of our focus for 2025 is to actually value add more with partners that are related to the real estate industry, and not just the industry but in home ownership in a way for our clients, that can bring more value to them when they get a new home, or even let's say they are looking to rejuvenate their house, for example their home. What value can we bring to them that the ERA brand continues to stay in their mind?
What about personally, individually? Like if you want to collaborate with other people, is it the same angle as an organization view?
I mean, collaborate to help you find a new
Yeah.
wife for Pachi.
Find what?
New wife for Pachi.
New wife for Pachi. I don't know. Actually, I'm what inside the Pachi family tree. I don't know why.
I think collaboration, I think generally as most humans, we are not alone, right? We like to make friends. We like to, find network. It just depends on how individually you prefer, how, you like to make a lot of friends, but you kind of just like a acquaintance sort of friendship, or you're somebody that actually prefers more deep down, sincere relationship and keep that, circle close. And I think that relates to partnership as well. In a way, whether you prefer the partnership to go, deep, or you prefer it to go wide. So I think generally this year for our partnership team is more of building deeper connections with more of our partners. Yeah.
Was it something that you see yourself doing? Like collaborate, like bulk?
I think generally before I even started my career, I actually did not. I wasn't a very much how do you put it social person.
Oh,
And it kind of came with the job as something that I learned to actually build up and come across in a way. And it's a skill, not say a skill set, but something somehow or another I enjoy.
It's like a newfound
because
something that you
there
like.
was one meeting previously that I was in my previous job that I went for a meeting, and then I was in that meeting and I was been like 6 months in the job, right?
Oh, okay.
And I was in that meeting, and then my manager was like, after the meeting, my manager came to me and was like, why are you just being a wallpaper in the meeting? And that kind of struck me like, if you don't bring any value to the table, why would people want to keep you involved? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So if you're every meeting you're going to and just keeping quiet, just sitting there, after a while having me or not having me there doesn't make a difference anymore. So from then on, I just realized that I need to build that knowledge. Even it might be small talk or whatsoever. So one of my tips that my manager brought to me was that, because last time we need to meet a lot of our partners, and not say partners, our clients and stuff to maintain that relationship, right? So she actually taught me like, one thing that you can do is, for example, read the news daily. Like just we as this age, we don't really go to Straits Times and CNA or whatever. So she said like, read the news. So sometimes you can talk about small talk. The train breakdown, there was a very big jam.
Okay.
Just to break that conversation. And from there, it leads to something else. So that was, something that I actually shared with, my team as well. So, it's something that where you can find common topics that you can come together to actually see how you can breach that ice or break that awkwardness. So if you ask me, this is something that I come and learn across the job in a way. Yeah.
Did it take a long time for you to like be comfortable or good at it? Like maybe
I don't think I'm good. I'm still learning. But
you need to give credit.
But I think if you ask me, is that I started to learn how to socialize a bit more. Previously, I was the quiet guy, maybe the cool sort of guy. Not scary
Very scary.
But the kind of just want to not be sociable in a sense, and let people approach me instead of approach people. But I've come to learn that when you kind of got I broke out of it in a way . So through other social events, like for example, I play a lot of football now.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. So you kind of like get to know more people, and from there you also play different teams and stuff like that. You get to build that network, and then you kind of after that learn, hey, this guy is from somehow this company or what. Then that mind, the business mind kicks in.
Okay.
Maybe I can collaborate with him on this, on that. So you kind of build that network from there, in a way. Yeah.
Becomes autopilot already for you.
In a certain way, yeah. So you kind of like, I mean, it's not a agenda to kind of know that person because of it, but it's always at the back of the mind. Yeah.
But I can tell that you weren't social like the first time I met you. No, actually, when I say scary, I really mean it. I'm very scared of you.
No,
last time.
I think as you come to know me, I think a lot of people, I mean, I have a lack of better words, maybe a RBF, right?
Oh, okay. I don't say anything. But I think what you say, I agree with it. Like you have to put yourself out there, because I only started to like open up to you and the people here once I started taking up like thing for ERA and MC and stuff like that. But I told you when you were the head of training that time, then you asked me about my background, and I told you I was into performing.
Yeah.
Then you gave me a platform
Yeah.
to what?
You started out MCing.
Oh
like,
yeah,
you know,
to
like all the intro for all the training.
intro
and
for
stuff like that,
induction and everything. But then I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
very nervous, right? But then I think if you didn't give me that platform, then I wouldn't have found that passion that I had also here.
I think generally, first of all, most is the thing is whether you want to do it or not. I mean, ERA, to be very honest, gives or offers a lot of opportunity for not just agents but for staff as well. I think recently you can look at a lot of stuff. We have been trying a lot of different things, even like within my team. I always believe that after a while, for example, like my colleague Inat, she's been with the admin team for so long. So recently I have actually asked whether she's keen to help me out with events, and she enjoys it because it's totally something different which she's been doing for maybe past 10 years. Though, of course, there's a steep learning curve, but it's something different. It doesn't get so mundane anymore. Like, things change. Some people would prefer, things to stay constant, predictable. But I think sometimes, when ERA, there's, we offer opportunities, whether you want to raise your hand, step forward to take it.
Yeah.
I think that is something which, is very individualistic, but at the same time is really, I think ERA has that platform to really want to groom and grow our staff in a way as well.
So it's just very not nostalgic lah, but from the if you compare the first time I met you and then now suddenly talking about this pakcik character, also it was just an accident because Selena was like, hey, I cannot, because Selena was supposed to do the gig with Garrett. Then they say she got meeting. Then she wants me to cover. Then I have to come up with a character. So that's the first, because I just came out from the prayer room. So I saw the Songkok and the Kain. So I just take and then.
but generally, honestly, I love it. I love that whole pakcik persona.
Okay, maybe I'll do more. It can lah. If you guys have any marketing collaterals, then you call pakcik. I can. No problem. I need. Okay, so sorry, out of topic. Back to partnership, right? So maybe you want to share some of the challenges that you face in maintaining a collaborative effort.
I think if let's say you're talking within ERA, I think first of all is some challenges is ERA or the real estate agency is a very fast moving. I think right? A very fast moving company. We have a very fast moving culture here. So everybody is swamped, to be very honest. Everybody is like, neck to neck with like work every day. So sometimes is how do you are able to actually, the project that I have on hand to actually prioritize it, to make people feel the priority of it, So it might not be their highest agenda at the moment, but it's something we got to do. So is to me is if we can plan it as early as we can to settle the groundwork, to settle everything, everybody kind of knows what they want to do, things get easier. Right. So just for example, it in a way like quarterly conference, right? It's like now everybody kind of knows their role individually.
Yeah.
So even just before LEC, we kind of just do a briefing for like 15-20 minutes. What are the differences? But generally, the foundation of what everybody does is everybody knows of it already.
Yeah.
So I think that is not one challenge, but in a sense of really getting people into that momentum, that understanding that it's all together. Sometimes people might think that my work is more important. So how to prioritize that, for example, that LEC briefing over your work, to come for that briefing for half an hour instead of you rushing out your work. Because to get everybody together for that just briefing is already a challenge. Yeah. So these are some challenges that we face. I think some other thing is also, for example, whether somebody might be more individual driven, like they prefer to work themselves, or they prefer to work in a team. Right. So for example, let's say I put myself right. So I'm actually a communication background guy. Right. So I studied comms because I knew that in a certain way that I wanted to not I'm not like, I can't be like, what Chiyong is like a accountant in a sense and work on his own. I wanted to always work in a team sort of environment, right? And because I enjoy the teamwork, I enjoy, working with each other to, I believe that everybody have their own experiences, their own unique point of how they actually perceive or look at things,
correct.
right? And everybody brings a different value to the table. With that, but with that also come challenges lah. Is whether can you come to a common agreement that, what we are all doing is for the common good, right? You might have a different perspective, I might have a different perspective, but we're all just looking to bring success to the table, right? But at the end of the day is, we must have that understanding that, we look at things differently, we need to accommodate to each other lah, in a certain way lah. So I think with that being said, is whether you need to understand whether you like working individually or like working in a team, and from there then basically as if I'm leading a project, is to kind of mold or bring these people together to work together as a team. And I think that is basically one of the biggest challenges that I have lah.
Understand.
Yeah.
But for me, when because working in this culture is the first time for me also. Previously, I was just in the admin role. So for me, one of the challenges that I find is I very scared to burden other people. And I end up thinking, everything that I what I mean. So like I say, for example, this department is supposed to do copywriting. I know they are swamped. Then I keep on saying I don't want to burden you. Then I keep on doing it. So that is the challenge I face every time I try to do something for in training program. So do you have any advice for that kind of person? I don't know if it's just because it's the way I brought up or different background or anything, but it's a mindset thing, I guess.
I think one thing here at ERA we are very thankful for is that we have a lot of colleagues like you. In a sense that we know that, for example, you're swamped, right? For example, training is swamped. Then we're like, okay, never mind, we help out and we do as much as we can. And then we're like, for example, in your case, is that you do the copywriting first, you draft out everything, and you pass it to comms. Hey, this is what I draft. Just take a look at it and see whether okay. I mean, we have a culture where we try to help out one another. But if you look at it at another perspective, is that they are the experts at copywriting. You have your expertise as well.
Correct.
So if you're actually doing their work, number one is that the results that are being churned out might not be the best. Second of all, when you are doing their work, end up you are actually not performing at your best also.
That's true.
So somehow or another, in a way, we have to also try to see being helpful is one, but also who is the best person to put to do the work. So that, I mean, there must be a balance. There's a very fine balance. I know it's not easy. I also am basically do what you have done. Sometimes like but
it's not that I don't trust their expertise. It's that
they are too busy.
No. I scared that they think I'm a nuisance for asking all this stuff. I think it's past trauma.
I think that one is a bit you already. You're just generally too nice. But I mean, sometimes you really kind of got to understand that they are the best person to do it.
No. I'm not saying they're not. Okay, because I love you.
Another thing is because also that the other thing is that they might have some SOPs. Right? For example, let's say you're coming off a script. They maybe have some internal SOPs or SOPs that has been discussed with management. For example, that how a program script needs to be run out, like for example, who to introduce first, what they must say for this is the agenda during this period that we want to highlight to people. And by you doing that script, end up they might actually overlook it. So there are sometimes things like that which happen. I think for you saying want to burden them in a sense, I think if let's say you do it for them in that sense, they might actually get into trouble because they are not following these SOPs.
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to say? So sometimes it's best to actually leave it to the people who are supposed to do it. Right? But of course we can try to help out by writing the skeleton of it and then getting them to fill up or fulfill the rest of it lah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And stop thinking that I'm a nuisance to everybody lah. Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
I scared
I
to,
don't
like-
think you need to think that way.
No
We are
lah,
all
I think
pretty
it's,
much
yeah,
quite-
you're right. It's a meeting lah. I scared like, alamak, this Taufik, I always ask for this copy.
Then you try to
and everything.
pachi persona, maybe they feel better lah.
Pachi persona won't work at all. I talk about different stuff. So that comes into trusting people also. I guess
Okay.
it boils down to I need to trust that
Yep.
person, but most importantly trust myself. But maybe from your perspective, was there any challenges when it comes to trust with collaborative work? And then how do you navigate it to ensure that the trust is not broken anymore?
I think, like I mentioned earlier, everybody bring a certain value to the table. Everybody have their basically expertise, right?
Yeah.
Everybody have gone through different experiences in their life. So, for example, just bring to you, for example, if we, let's say, to talk about trust, like doing APBC, there's a lot of things going on. There's so many things going on, and basically, me, helping out Eugene as being the chair. Eugene leading the whole thing, I'm helping him out. Sometimes on the ground when running things, there are a lot of feedback.
Correct.
For example, registration, there's a certain issue. Even come to a point of how the queue needs to be. The queue posts need to be lined up. How the tables need to be lined up. At the for example, at the trophy booth, how the trophies need to be lined up. All these are actually done back end before APBC that agents don't know. Right, we come down to the so fine details that even like how the queue posts are being lined up, which registration booth you go through and everything. And every year we're trying to improve. And every year when we're talking about improvement is when we discuss with the staff would actually, or the people that are actually OIC over that, they will bring the feedback that we want to try this, we want to do that, and stuff like that. Sometimes to me is I'm afraid because if it screws up, it's going to be bad, right?
Yeah,
Then my
that's
head
true.
is on the chopping board. But sometimes you kind of got to trust them because they are on the ground doing it. They experience and they know what is going on. And for me, I'm just running around the whole day. I'm not there, basically the whole morning to actually see how registration is done. And basically at the end of the day is you just kind of got to trust them in that sense that, okay, you do it. But if anything happens, we're all in it together.
Oh. Hence
Because I might not
collaboration.
be the best person to advise because I'm not there doing it.
Hmm.
So they gave me that feedback. I need to also take that feedback very important, like very, authentically in
Correct,
a sense,
correct.
because otherwise nobody else is going to give you feedback next time.
Yeah.
If every time feedback is going to turn on a deaf ear, then what's the point of anybody giving feedback, right?
Yeah.
So basically they give that feedback, and then to me it's like, okay, let's go with it. If things screw up, then next year we look at it again. But at this moment now, if things screw up, we're all in it together. And coming back to your question is that whether it's trust, whether that trust is broken or not. I think at the end of the day is when people give a feedback, things like that, you trust them that they have the best intentions.
Oh.
And basically they are not looking for.
They're not looking to attack you lah.
I mean, not so much of attack. I don't think anybody wants to sabo me in that sense, but more not for individual glory.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Understand,
Like,
yep.
is you're looking at the common good of things, like the event to be successful. You're not looking to do this because I want to stand out and shine myself. Then you might screw up the whole program and the whole,
Understand.
whole mechanics of how things are working. Then that part gets a bit scary
Yes.
for me lah. If
Yes,
I'm
yes. Agree.
overlooking at the overall. So sometimes this is when you realize that there is an individual that is looking for that. Then basically a red flag is there lah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you still kind of maintain and monitor that situation and see things how go. But I think generally at ERA we are very fortunate that we do have colleagues like that. Everybody are working together for common good. So if you ask me, I think generally as of now, so far for the past 9 years, I think I can say I trust most of my colleagues that they want a common good and a common successful outcome for everything that we do here at ERA lah.
Okay. Great. Okay, before we end off, maybe you, what advice would you give to someone who struggles to collaborate effectively? So maybe you can separate into two parts. One, if those as a leader within the team, and then as an individual in their life.
Okay, I think I if you ask me as a team leader, to be honest, I don't really have that much experience. But I think as a team leader is to build that cohesiveness or learning about your teammates and stuff like that, not just through work but through other possible avenues of interaction as well. So, through meals or through hangout sessions, get to know them personally in that sense. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? And then if you realize that there are some strengths and weaknesses of a certain individual or two individuals, then you might want to pair them together to complement each other. Right? So for example, if let's say I'm somebody who can go into, for example, to meet partners and talk, but maybe I'm not so good with, like, for example, following up, for example. Then I get another colleague with me who might not be very good in face-to-face interaction, but maybe very good in emails following up, for example. Yeah, so it's something like that. You know what I'm trying to say? And if let's say the advice would be for individual, I think first of all, like I mentioned earlier, would be to understand whether you are, you like to work alone or you like to work as a team. I think that must be established from the very get-go to understand that of yourself. Because if you understand that you like to work as an individual and you are kind of being tasked to work in a team, then you have to understand that you yourself, has this certain attribute, and then how you can actually mold or gel into the team that's in that way. Because some individuals might be very harsh or very, very so-called stubborn with their views and not willing to accommodate, right? But when you come to a team, sometimes you need to understand that, like everybody got different views. So it's how you're able to actually kind of understand that, hey, maybe that person, what you're saying, Taufik saying is good. It's actually a good idea. But, sometimes the ego in me might not be like, I don't want to listen to Taufik because I think my idea is better. So I think some things like that have to really kind of weigh out. So I think most importantly is understanding whether you're individual or team player. And then from there, then developing your own understanding of how you then want to work into a team.
Understand. That's very nice. Okay, Deming, thank you so much for joining us in today's episode of Power Monday. And you guys remember, collaboration work, it takes the entire team, as the name says. And what I just learned, you need to trust yourself to not think that everyone thinks you're a nuisance and a burden. So thank you guys so much for tuning in into this episode. We hope you found Deming's insight as inspiring as I am. So remember, if you guys like this episode, please continue to follow us on ERA Singapore Spotify, as well as leave some comments and like our YouTube videos. If you enjoyed this episode, I just said that already. Sorry. Stay tuned for more powerful episodes. And until next time, keep pushing forward, stay empowered as we continue to rise by raising others. And remember, your Mondays will never have to be blue again. It's been Deming and Taufik. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Power Monday, where your Mondays will never be blue again.